It's not, and it will never be, I don't think in my lifetime anyway, a finite science. There's always an element of chaos to it. To be a really good forecaster, there's got to be an element of having a gut for it. You've got to have that, it's coming, I can smell it. And if you don't, you're never going to get that, because the science every now and again is going to let you down. It's kind of like manipulating a little bit of science and a little bit of magic, you know. There's still an element of witchcraft to what we do, and I loved that.
She can tell you why the weather is the way it is, why the forecast is the way it is.
The word that's coming out from the Hurricane Conference right now is that the oil slick...
Claire is one of those people who has that kind of background. She actually has a degree in meteorology. And the fact that she understands what she's talking about comes through.
In fact, I would say I haven't encountered anyone who is quite as passionate about meteorology in general and broadcast meteorology in particular as Claire.
I am born and raised in London, England, obviously, although everybody else seems to think it's Sydney, but it's not. London, England.
Well, now here's tonight's weather details from Barbara Edwards.
Good evening. Well, eastern areas of Britain have had a
My aunt, she was the first woman, the first female that was put in front of the BBC. I have to say she hated it. She really hated it, because she was a bit of a flag bearer. And I never ever wanted to do TV. I've got to say that out at the front. I always wanted to be a really good forecaster. And I got my first degree out there prior to becoming a forecaster with the UK Met Office. And the weather sucked, quite frankly, in London. And there wasn't a huge amount of range. And I thought about immigrating.
But in order to get her credentials to work in Canada, she decided that she would need to have additional meteorology training, and decided to come to the U of A.
When you go back to university, slightly older, it's so much more valuable. It's almost like you get it. You've been out a bit, you realize the importance of the education, and you get so much more from it. My degree from the University of Alberta is worth more than its weight in gold. It's just, you know, it was eye-opening. It was a brilliant, brilliant experience. So in a way, I consider that my degree that really made me who I am today. I also did speeches at university for Wisest, Margaret Ann Armour.
How many of you like Welch's grape juice?
And she walked in and she looks, quite frankly, like a little granny, my Scottish granny, and I'm thinking, I'm way cooler than she is. And I give my speech and the kids are like, oh, that's very nice, that's great. And then Margaret came up, she filled a test tube up with water, plugged it, put it under a burner, started to walk away, lit the bottom with a match of her lab coat and started talking, and I'm thinking, oh my God, she's nuts. But you know what, the kids were completely, and of course she got fire retardant spray on her thing, so then it went out, and she really got them. And I remember thinking at the time, I want to be Margaret. I want to make it so that I have as much joie de vivre in my subject at her age as she does right now. Like, she was way better than me.
Yeah, that's Canadian pop star Justin Bieber walking along a California beach with his girlfriend Selena Gomez when they heard one of his songs played at a nearby party. What do you think the song was? Somebody to Love, Baby, Baby, Never Say Never.
Don't you see if we hear
Come on,
the theme
we know
music
you
for
hum
National?
all those songs just before the show every night. When you listen to Canadians, as I do, from coast to coast to coast when I travel, the most common question I get these days is, what's Claire Martin really like? And what I tell them is, what you see is what you get. Somebody who has fun at her job, really enjoys doing it, likes people to enjoy what she's talking about, but most of all, likes people to understand what is, for most Canadians, one of the most important things that happens around them on a daily basis. And that, of course, is the weather.
She loves to teach. And I think her passion for teaching comes across in the way she presents the weather.
I have 2 degrees from 2 universities, 7 years of university, and I've never taken a single science course. And Claire is surrounded by people like me. We ask her, when's it going to snow? What's the weather going to be like? What's a downburst? And we have no clue of any of the things meteorological she knows. She has to tolerate people like me who don't really understand what she does. And maybe that's her best quality of all.
And the University of Alberta was like a huge part in my life. It still is. I can't believe I'm an alumni. I can't believe I'm a distinguished alumni. When they phoned me, I kept saying, it's Claire Martin, like the weather girl. You got the right Claire Martin, because I think there were a few of us that year.
So I congratulate you, University of Alberta, for noticing your distinguished alumni in Claire Martin. Congratulations, Claire. Have a great evening.